Today, we are diving deep into a huge question in the online business world. Why do so many of us get stuck chasing the next big promise instead of building something that actually lasts? We're going to talk about making the switch from hype to real, solid substance.
Let's get real for a second. Have you ever thought to yourself, man, if I could just find that one big break, that one opportunity, everything would just click. But for some reason, that break never seems to show up.
Well, what if the real problem isn't a lack of opportunity out there, but a lack of clarity right in here? What if it's all about how you see the things that are already right in front of you? That's what we're digging into today, gaining a kind of clarity that can completely change the game for you.
Okay, so here's our roadmap. First, we're going to pull the curtain back on the bonus hype trap. Then, we'll talk about what real value actually looks like. After that, we'll get into the fun stuff, like using creativity as a superpower and even turning the whole hustle into a game. And finally, it all comes down to one single thing: your decision.
All right, first up, let's talk about something I'm pretty sure we've all seen a million times: the never-ending cycle of bonus hype.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? You've seen it. A product that costs maybe $1,000, but it comes with a $600,000 bonus stack. It's designed to overwhelm you, to make you think you're getting the deal of a lifetime. But you have to stop and ask, where did that number even come from?
And this slide just breaks it down perfectly. You've got two paths your brain can take. The emotional path just sees the giant number and goes, wow, what a steal. But the logical path, it takes a step back. It asks the really important question. Okay, hold on. How was this value created? What actual time, real effort, and hard-won knowledge went into this thing? That's when the fog starts to clear.
So if those massive made-up numbers are just smoke and mirrors, then what should we be looking for? We need a totally new definition of value. And honestly, it all boils down to two things that are way more important than money: your time and your clarity.
This right here, this is the heart of it. See, real value isn't just some number somebody slaps on a sales page. It is the result of the grind. It's all the hours of research, the years of expertise, the painful trial and error, all of that, packaged into something tangible that helps someone else move forward faster and with less pain.
And this is just a fundamental truth of business, you know? There's no such thing as a free lunch. You can't avoid investing in your growth. You're either going to pay with your money or you're going to pay with something way, way more expensive: your time.
So how do we actually calculate this stuff? Well, think about it like this. If an expert can save you weeks of banging your head against the wall in just one single 60-minute conversation, what is that hour actually worth? We're putting it at $100 an hour. But you're not just buying 60 minutes. You're literally buying back weeks of your life.
And this is how that value starts to stack up into something really substantial. A single document, let's say a strategic plan, can be worth almost $3,000. Why? Because it represents dozens of those $100 hours, all condensed into a blueprint that saves you from all that guesswork. That's real value.
But here's the thing. Seeing this kind of value doesn't just happen automatically. It's a skill. It's a mindset you have to develop. It's like putting on a new pair of glasses that lets you see the world differently. Let me show you what I mean with a super simple example.
Okay, check this out. Person A walks into a store, sees a case of water for $4 and thinks, cool, I'm thirsty. That's it. But person B sees the exact same case of water and immediately sees a $36 asset. They know that if they just sell each bottle individually for $1.50, that's a $32 profit. Then they can take that profit and do it all over again and again. It's the same object, but a totally different way of seeing its hidden value. So now we get how to spot value. But what if we could create value in a way that literally no one else is doing? This is where we go beyond just spreadsheets and documents. This is where we tap into one of the most powerful forms of leverage there is: creativity. And that brings us to this idea of edutainment. It's so powerful. Instead of just giving people dry, boring lessons, you wrap that valuable education inside something that's actually entertaining. It makes the lesson stick, it forges a way stronger connection, and man, it really helps you stand out. For instance, think about this: a whole music album built from the ground up to be a business tool. Every single track is designed to teach a business concept through its lyrics. It inspires people, it motivates them, and it acts as a totally unique way to attract people to your world. It's not just music, it's a strategic asset for building a culture. Okay, so we've got real value and we're delivering it in a creative way. That is a massive advantage. But there's one more piece to this puzzle. How do you actually get people to take action on what they're learning day in and day out?
Well, you make it fun. You gamify the whole entire hustle. I mean, just think about that for a second. What if instead of dreading your to-do list, you were excited to log in and play a game where every single move you make teaches you a real skill and actually pushes your business forward?
And the whole experience would be built just for you. Right from the start, you choose your avatar, you pick your experience level, and you set your immediate goal, like maybe just getting your very first sale. This isn't some one-size-fits-all thing. It's a journey designed to get you a specific result.
Now here's where it gets really, really cool. The game itself is super simple, like a card game. If you win the hand, awesome, you earn points and coins. But if you lose the hand, it's not just a loss. The game instantly gives you a real-world marketing task, like writing a killer call to action to complete so you can earn your points back. So yeah, winning is great, but losing is where the real learning and skill building happens.
So we've talked about spotting real value, leveraging creativity, and even turning learning into a game. But honestly, none of that matters, not a single bit of it, without the one thing that has to happen first: your decision. It really all comes down to a crossroads. You can keep getting distracted by the next shiny object with its ridiculous bonus stack. Or you can decide to step into a system that's actually designed to build your skills and your assets for the long haul.
And this, right here, is the biggest takeaway of all. The people who actually win in this game, they're not the ones who are impressed by the hype. They're the ones who develop the skill to see what's real, find the courage to make a clear decision, and then have the discipline to take action on it.
And that's the ultimate shift, isn't it? Because once you can confidently identify real value when you see it, the entire game changes. You stop chasing opportunities because you finally have the tools, the clarity, and the mindset to build your own. Thanks for tuning in.
On January 1st, the world will experience something unlike anything. It is the day the Hustleverse officially makes its debut. Welcome to the Hustleverse will be the first installment of the greatest collection of edutainment music to ever be created for the Hustleverse, and your first opportunity to get access to a movement designed to inspire, motivate, and fuel real hustlers. 2026 album of the year has arrived, and this is just the beginning.
Yeah. Everybody got a speech. Everybody got a quote. But when it's time to lift something heavy, that's when you see who's real. Talkers and builders. It's talkers and builders, same room, different mission. One sell a dream with a smile, one bring tools for the fix, one love the sound of success, one love the word when it's missing. So I move with the builders, cause the fruit tell the difference. I seen them type facts, then they vanish when it's action. Whole timeline full of hype but no traction. They know every saying, every caption, every line, but can't produce one result if you give them the time. They'll debate you for hours, try to win with a phrase, while a builder take 10 minutes and change his whole day. I ain't mad at talking, words can spark a flame, but if it don't turn to work, it's just smoke with a name. I come from where the block had to share. If one got to play, we made room at the chair. Now I watch these lone wolf types bragging online, no back in they bio, but they die on that grind. So I built me a system, put a map in the dirt, cause the truth ain't loud, it's consistent at work. If you can't carry bricks, don't call it love. I'm building a legacy, not a comment club. It's talkers and builders, same room, different mission. One sell a dream with a smile, one bring tools for the fixing, builders, yeah. Cause the fruit tell the difference, yeah. I used to take it personal, like why they don't support. Then I learned most folks clapping got no strength to live more. Yeah, they tired from their own stones, they drowning in their own doubt. So they cheer for a second, then disappear when you're out. Yeah, but I still keep receipts, cause patterns don't lie. If you only show up when it's easy, you not mine. See, a builder ain't perfect, builder bruising still here. Builder shaky some days, but he faithful to fear. Builder asks for the blueprint, not the gossip, not the tea. Builder say, show me steps, not tell me what to believe. Talker love being seen, camera hungry, ego fed. Builder love being solid, hands dirty, goes ahead. Talker chase validation like a drug in the night. Builder chase elevation, turn pain into a light. So when I pick my circle, I ain't picking by fame, I'm picking by effort. It's talkers and builders, same room, different mission, different mission. One sell a dream with a smile. One bring tools for the fixes. One love to work when it's missed. One move with the builders. Decision day, yeah, that fork in the road. Either stay in the crowd or commit to the code. Cause legacy get messy when your message ain't clear. They'll fight over who you were in a race while you're here. So I speak with precision, no fog in my tone. Who I am, what I do, what I'm building, set in stone. I'm building with believers, not browsers on the fence. Cause I like what you're doing, ain't the same as investment. Some can share a link, but can they help you build? Can they hold you accountable when you're ready to quit? Can they tell you the truth when your feelings get loud? Can they stay 10 toes when the wave hit the crowd? That's a builder. Someone solid when the spotlight gone. Someone playing with you daily till the harvest long. So if you want the freedom, bring discipline too. Cause the talk feel good, but the build pull you through. Yeah. Talkers make noise, builders make history. Choose who you are, and choose who you build with.
Send in the rescue team before this get any worse.
This ain't a backdrop, it's a movie I direct. Every scar got a role, every loss got a set. Lights on the truth, I don't shoot for effect. I turn pain into scenes the world won't forget. No permission slips, no waiting on chance. I cut the fear out the frame, let the vision advance. If life wrote the script, I rewrote the intent. Welcome to the mindset, movie studio mindset. I ain't standing at a screen, I'm standing in control. Whole studio in my reach, every button got a goal. They taught us consume, never taught us create. So I flipped the equation, turned delay into fate. Every failure got I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepare was made just for you. Feast up, I'll keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got a plan to get this cake, come grab a stack. Life could be sweet, if you listen, you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door. Stop acting like you got beef, it won't taste right. This flavor's reserved for those ready.
Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Today is strong 44, day 3, and we are right at 16 minutes into today's challenge. So let's start peeling the curtain back, and let's get to work. So today is Wednesday. So we know what Wednesday is. Decision Day Wednesday. One of those days that midpoint of the week, right? The week. Yeah, I said the week. But it's for the strong. It's only for those people that are strong who will look at the midpoint of the week and make a specific decision. So they'll make a decision based off of how the beginning part of the week was going and based off of how they want the rest of the week to go, right? So they want things to hopefully you want things to start out strong. That's what we try to do on a daily basis. We start out everything strong. And we want the weak or the strong to continue throughout the rest of the week, right? So I woke up this morning and I did my routine, getting just a little tad bit prepared for today's live. I pulled up, that very special new tab section, and I'm looking at the stories of today, and I'm thinking, okay, what can I get inspired by? What can help us get to the next level? And I see a lot of, of course, there's a lot of politics going on. There's a lot of stuff going on politically. And, it's a little mix of different things going on here. And I'm like, okay, in this section over here, I couldn't really find anything too inspiring. I scrolled down a little bit. I'm like, okay, nothing too inspiring. I had to look at the picture of Mary right here. And I said, I don't know if I want to touch this one right here. I don't know if I want to go there with the Mary J. Blige opens up about addiction and road to recovery. That might be I know it would be an interesting story. It's an interesting story. And it might be worth diving into, right? Then I said, let me leave that one alone. I'm kind of feeling a little bit different about it right now. I'm kind of feeling a little bit different about it because I think about addictions, and I've recently had a conversation with the family member, and I hadn't spoke to her in a while. And we were talking about, you know, different things that's going on. And she mentioned to me that she likes using AI. Specifically, she's using Chat GPT. And she said that, she's just now getting into it, and she had some questions for me about, AI. And can she do this? Can she do that? And I'm like, shit, yeah, you can do all of that. You can do all of that and more. And I told her to be careful. Be careful when it comes to AI because it can become an addiction. I'm gonna be honest, it's my addiction. Yeah, I said it. I've never had any other, crazy addictions. If you call, I used to smoke weed on the regular, you know, I say damn near more than half my life I smoked weed, but I haven't in a while. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't smoked a blunt in almost a year. That's not that long, but that's the closest thing to you can say an addiction that I can think of. I'm not big on alcohol drinking, so I can have a drink of alcohol for a celebration and that's it. Or I could buy, let's say, a bottle of alcohol for the holidays, and that bottle will still be there around the next holiday and even the holiday after that. So And no drinking addiction, but weed was one of those things that was my constant. When I say constant, I mean every day. Let's talk about it. Let's be real. Hopefully, everybody that's watching is an adult, and not only just an adult, but a real person. You know, my target audience might be a special group of people, and the people that might be able to relate to me the most might be some weed smokers. You know, not to say that I wouldn't never pick up a blunt again, but I decided to put it down. But when I think about addiction, and I think about we might as well jump into it. We might as well click on Mary and see what this is about. And it looks like this story was updated on the 13th of April on my birthday, right? So, I'll take that. Let's take that as a sign. Let's talk about it just a little bit. But yeah, I was telling my cousin that, be careful when it comes to the AI because it can become addictive. It's going to be something that, hey, once when you start using it, you're going to say to yourself, can I do this? Can I do that? It's going to be kind of like, you start to become somewhat of a fiend for it. You go back for your next hit. You do something with Chat GPT and you say, man, okay, I did that. You walk away from the laptop or your cell phone, and then 10 minutes later, if that, could be a shorter time frame, then you running back to it like, oh man, I just had a new idea. So it could be one of the worst addictions that anyone can ever get into. Because at least if you're a weed smoker, at least you can smoke a blunt and be good for a couple of hours, right? You could be good for a couple of hours before you might, want to roll up, or if you clipped it, relight it up. But with AI, it's like, okay, you use it right now, you get something done, you go make something to eat real quick, and then boom, you running back to it. And then you start to use it while you're actually eating. So you eating whatever it is that you cooked, and you messing with the AI. You decide, hey, I want to watch something on TV. You start watching a TV show or you start watching a movie, and while you're watching the movie and stuff, you still focused on either your laptop and your phone, and you're trying to multitask. You're paying attention to the show somewhat, but then you back to the AI. Okay, can I do this? Let me work on this. Let me work on that. So it can be crazy addicting. But let's talk about this story with Mary J. Blige, a very popular R&B singer, well known for decades, classic hits. There's so many stories about Mary and her life and the things that she's been through, the people that she surrounded herself with. There's controversies with those particular people. She was part of Bad Boy at one point, and we know what's going on with Bad Boy Records and their, owner and the diddler. But she's been around a lot of things and she's experienced a lot of things in her life, and she's had to overcome a lot of things. And addiction seemingly is one of those things. And I can't even imagine being a celebrity like that, having the demands of life, being a major performer, a well-known, very popular, very gifted and talented artist, and being pulled here, there, everywhere, and being requested to show up and be, a top performer. That can put a lot of pressure on a person. And I want you to think about that when it comes to your online business, whether you've just started it or you've been in it for a while. There's a lot of pressure that comes with it. Now, if you're just getting started, you might not feel the pressure right away. You might feel the pressure in certain areas, specifically like, hey, you thinking to yourself, hey, I got to get this done because I want to make some money. I want to make money real fast. I want to build my business. I want to do this, that, and the third. But then you start building a business, and then a different type of pressure comes up. Then it becomes more of a performance type of pressure. Now you're thinking to yourself, okay, I've created some content. I've done it for a week. I'm consistent. Every day I'm creating content. Now, you know, your creativity starts to kind of dwindle, starts to dry up. And now you're thinking to yourself, okay, what's the next piece of content that I'm going to create? And then the pressure starts to build. Start think, hey, I did this, I did that. What else is it that I can do? And you start coming up with different concepts, trying to think about what it is. And then you start the next week. You post that week. Now you're 2 weeks in. Now pressure starts to build even more. Now it's not just about content. Now it's about, you know, being consistent, period. You're getting some responses, some people are watching, some people are liking, commenting, and now you feel an obligation to your new audience. Now you start saying to yourself, man, these people are expecting me to show up on a daily basis. And I have to show up with a fresh perspective, with a new way of presenting my business, my opportunity, whatever it is. And the pressure starts to get to people. And when pressure builds up in specific people, they start to develop or gravitate towards certain addictions. Some people, they say, man, I'm on such a roll. I'm on such a high from doing this. I don't want this to end, or I can't stop. So some people turn to drugs to either keep them going, keep them moving. Some people say they take specific drugs in order to keep them creative. And then it turns into an addiction. One thing feeds another. So the good things that result from what you're doing in your business can lead you to a addiction. AI. AI might become your addiction. Now that you have an audience, now that you have something worth doing on a daily basis, now you're going back and forth to the AI saying, hey, I need you to create something for me for the next week, for the next strong week for content purposes, right? It creates it. Then you say, hey, I don't want to just create something and post once a day. I want to post 2 times a day, 3 times a day. Okay, well, I got AI now. So really, it's all up to my creativity. I can post 5 times a day. If I keep talking to it, working with it, giving it concepts and ideas, and we work together, then you can get into a constant cycle of doing that. And it's kind of like being a artist. You make a smash hit, a hit record, and then next thing you know, okay, you got this great song, people are going crazy for it. Now the people are looking for the complete album. Then you're like, okay, now either you've been working on the album, or now you're like, okay, there's a demand for it. Now the pressure is on. I gotta create this album. I gotta write these lyrics. I gotta get with these producers. I gotta do whatever it is that I need to do in order to get this album created. Then it turns into, okay, late nights, early mornings, phone call here, phone call there, hopping on a plane, hopping in the car, taking a road trip to meet with this person, that person. Now you're getting tired. It feels like you're working towards your dream, you're working towards your goal, but it just seems like there's not enough time in the day. Like right now, the sun is out, it's bright and shiny outside. There's so many things that you can be doing, but your focus is on building and creating or turning your dream into reality. And then you can start saying, man, I'm tired. I'm creating this album, I'm doing this, that, and the third, I'm building my business. Still got to take a nap. I still got to do this, that, and the third. I got to get some rest. I got to do this. So once again, people turn to certain substances and things to help them get through those strenuous times. But let's start to read some of these key takeaways in Mary's story. So it says here, music and pain. Albums like My Life and Growing Pains reflect her journey through substance abuse and emotional struggles, turning personal hardship into relatable art. I can relate to that. Because here in the Hustleverse, that's what we do. We create music that's inspiring, motivating, and that's based off of, various struggles, personal hardship, relatable concepts and ideas. And that's why I always say it's always important from the beginning of your journey and throughout your journey to make sure that you know who you are. Because knowing who you are and being yourself authentically, that's going to transfer to your target audience. And that's going to make it easier for you to actually, be consistent. Because the only person you can be on a daily basis is yourself. Now, if you put up a facade and you try to act like somebody else, then you're going to continuously be a actor. And if you think about an actor needs a role. So if they're playing a role, when that role is over, they need another role. And if there's not enough scripts out there, every day you're trying to play a different role, these actors and actresses, they don't get unlimited offers. So sometimes they got to fall back, and then you see them starting to be themselves. You start seeing more of the real person in their daily life struggles than you actually see the character that they portray, right? You can only portray you can only portray but so many characters. But hopefully your goal is to be yourself as much as possible so that you don't have to pretend. You don't have to be anything other than what you are. So within the Hustleverse, of course, we, like I said, we create music that speaks to the heart, mind, and the soul of real people, people that can relate to what it is that we're trying to convey. Our particular or my specific niche of music is geared towards entrepreneurship. People that need to be inspired, people that are on a mission to build something, that have a dream, that want to live their dream, that don't want to be, beat down by, negativity, that don't want to be beat down by hearing about, you know, negative situations that, leads them to either going down the wrong path or leads them to feeling depressed and anxious and whatever else. There's a lot of music out there that's like that. But we try to do everything in our power to inspire and uplift. Kind of like that, you know, that new song or that new music video. I said that's not the official music video for Talkers and Builders, but I'm gonna rock with that for a little bit because I think that's a strong song to start out with on an intro. And it represents how I feel. It's about talkers and builders. Now, I'm here for the builders. I'm not here for the talkers. All my life, I've known a lot of talkers, a lot of people that just say what they want, say this and that, and there's no build behind the talk. And I've learned how to separate myself from those type of people. Like, keep talking, keep doing your thing. I don't want to hear those same stories of what I'm going to do, what I want to do over and over and over. I'm about what I am doing and what I'm going to do today and what I'm going to do tomorrow and how that's going to build even further into something else. So we're going to rock with that song for a while. Of course, I'm constantly creating new music, and the new music, I don't want to get too far into it, but the new music, you know, I'm real excited. I'm so excited about, once again, this AI technology, and once again, it's my newest or my only addiction. But let's get back to it. Recovery and support. At a critical crossroads in 2001, Blige turned to prayer and found guidance through Kendall Isaacs, who helped her confront her challenges positively. See, okay, this right here is very powerful, it's very strong because it represents something that I talk to you guys about also on a regular basis. The power of connection with people. See, if we could solve our own problems, we would be superheroes, right? We would be our own personal superhero. We would be invincible. If we could solve our own problems, we wouldn't have anything to complain about. Or if we complain about something, you know, it would be a short lived complaint. It would be something, hey, I got this problem. Boom, okay, how do I fix it? This is how I could do it. And then you go to work and you fix that problem. Now, the fact of the matter is this: most of our problems that we have aren't something that we can personally fix ourselves without a little assistance. Now, your road, your journey towards success is going to be determined by your actions and your personal mindset, right? But there's an old saying that says, you don't know what you don't know until you know it. And in order to find something out, you have to often get external forces or external information in order to learn about it. So this right here, this one line right here, this represents something that is very powerful that everybody needs to, come to grips with, that they actually need to understand that they're going to need in order to get from one level to another. This represents her journey of first, she turned to prayer. So, prayer, for different people, it's different things. You can pray to the creator. And a lot of times when you pray into the creator, sometimes it's more so of you having an internal conversation with yourself. Personally, that's how I feel. You praying, and your belief is that it's being transmitted to the creator, to someone or something that is listening and that's going to take over and help get you through. But it's also, in my opinion, you talking to your subconscious mind. You having that conversation with yourself, and you're explaining to yourself something that you obviously know is a problem. You know what your problems is already, but you have to restate it. They say that one of the fastest ways or the easiest ways to grow and develop and to make sure that you know your goals are achieved is to write it down or to say it out loud. That's powerful. That's another version of prayer, in my opinion. When you say it, what it is that you're going through, your struggles, your challenges, what are you weak at, and you ask for a solution. That's kind of like you writing your goals down. And if you pray every day, that's a great thing. And if you are the type of person that has done what some of my early mentors have suggested years and years ago, is that you write down your goals or whatever it is that you want to achieve, and you write it down on the card or whatever, and you put it up in your bathroom, in your mirror. You put it there because it's the place that you most often go to on a daily basis. You always go to the bathroom on a daily basis. And most times, multiple times a day, you have to look yourself in the mirror. And when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can see that goal list on the in the mirror. Sometimes, back they used to say if you wanted to make a certain amount of money, then write yourself a personal check. If you wanted to make $1,000,000, write yourself a check and then post that in the mirror so that every day you go, you look at that mirror and you look at that goal right there, that $1,000,000 check that one day you plan on cashing, that you want to manifest and bring into reality. So her journey turned to prayer, and then she found guidance. She found guidance. Another word for guidance is mentorship, you know, coaching. She found somebody that can actually, that she can physically talk to and that can give her some insight. And this person helped her confront her challenges positively. It's powerful. There's some people that can help you confront your challenges negatively. There's some people that can, make me think of like a drill sergeant. They could yell at you, scream at you, tell you, hey, you need to push harder, do this, that, and the third. And that can, for some people, that can be the motivation that they need. They need to hear it that way, as they call it, in some instances, tough love, where a person, they're not going to baby you. They're not going to tell you, oh, it's going to be okay and everything. They're going to be like, yo, get your ass up and get to work. For some people, that might be negative. To other people, that might be, one of those things that gets you moving. You don't like to hear it, but it motivates you to not have to hear it. It motivates you to get moving because if I don't get to work, if I don't do what I have to do, then I'm gonna hear this person's mouth. I'm gonna have to hear this or that from that person. So she had to find herself a coach or a mentor to help her get through her challenges, just like you need one. Now, they didn't say anything about money here, but I could imagine, unless this was a close friend or somebody that she really knew and just trusted, this could have been somebody that, she actually had to pay for. They may not even have been like a licensed um doctor, you know, counselor or anything like that, but she might have had to pay this individual and might have had to pay them a lot of money in order to get their insight. And that's something that a lot of people have to come to grips with also. That's something that you have to get over. The fact that coaching and mentoring is one of the most lucrative industries or niches on the planet. Just about everybody in every arena of life has a coach or a mentor. If you play sports, you have a coach. If you are a music artist, a lot of those music artists, if you're a singer specifically, especially, you have a singing coach, somebody that can help you make sure that reaching those octaves, hitting those high notes properly. So you have to have a coach that teaches you how to do that. You have coaches throughout every professional thing in life. If you're in politics, you know, they might not call them coaches, but you have your PR people, your public relations people, the people that you sit with, your round table, that tell you, hey, you need to say this, you need to say that, or you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't say that. Or what should you wear today? You have you know, your fashion people, so you have your stylists. They're a form of coaches. They're coaching you on what's the best way to look and present yourself. Should you wear this on the red carpet? Once when you get on the red carpet, how should you walk down that red carpet? Should you do a spin? Should you, you know, whatever it is? There's coaching and mentoring in just about every successful or high paying industry. And those people, they are very valuable. So that's why a lot of times coaches and mentors are the ones that get paid the most, because the results that they give allow the people that they're coaching or mentoring to reach their goals. And achieving specific goals are, very important to people. And that's one of the most valuable products that a person can actually pay for. Achieving a goal is a product. It's something that maybe only you care about, but it's like that rare painting. You know, only a few people want it. Only a few people care. Somebody might look at that painting, that same painting, and say, "Hey, that's not worth anything to me. That just looks like a banana in a frame." And then somebody else might say, "Hey, this right here speaks directly to me and it's valuable to me, and I'm willing to pay over $1 million for it." So goals are some of the most expensive and most valuable products that a person will pay to receive. So what are your goals? If you have specific addictions and you want to get over those addictions or those specific challenges, then you might pay a coach a few $100 or a few $1,000 or millions of dollars over the course of time to help you get over those specific addictions. Now, when it comes to the online world, you know, people have that, that mentality. Like I always say, people always think that for whatever reason, they think that the online world is just some type of, whole different type of world where everything's supposed to be free. You're not supposed to have to pay for anything. People supposed to give me this. You're supposed to show me, coach me, mentor me for free. I'm not supposed to have to pay you for anything. But time and information and knowledge is money. And if I help you achieve a specific goal that you're trying to reach that's important to you, you need to be willing to pay and invest in yourself to get that goal achieved, because that's possibly more valuable to you than a TV for somebody else, a car for another person, a house for a different person. And if it is, then that means you should be willing to pay the price accordingly to the value of what you see that goal being worth, right? So let's get to the last point: relationships and growth. Her marriage to Isaac's 2003 through 2018 involved both collaboration and conflict, highlighting her journey of self discovery, resilience, and learning to protect herself emotionally and financially. So, yeah, going through situations like that that's going to, break you down emotionally and financially, you might be willing to, pay somebody for some assistance. Imagine being a superstar who has the ability to earn millions. Imagine being an online marketer who has a product or service or opportunity, a business opportunity that could yield possibly millions of dollars in income on a yearly basis. You, well, the logical person, the one with the right mindset, they might say to themselves, "Hey, I need to get a coach and pay a coach $5,000, $10,000 a month so that I can be able to achieve this goal of $1 million in revenue by the end of the year, so that I can duplicate that and make $1 million a year, every year." That right there is pennies for that particular goal. $10,000. Okay, you say $100,000, $120,000, right? So you say just to make $1 million, that's 12%. 12% of your earnings. Are you willing to pay 12% to give somebody 12% of something and you making that much money? That sounds like a fair trade-off. Even, a 50, 200% increase. You pay somebody 500,000 and you make 500,000 that you would have never made. That's still a fair exchange, right? It's all about what you consider to be valuable and what you're willing to invest in order to get what it is that you want. So I just want to say that knowing about Mary J. Blige's story, and she's been in different relationships, different situations. She was involved at one point with another R&B singer, you know, um, from the group Jodeci, and from the talks about that, that was they said that that might have possibly been a abusive relationship. So she's been through the ringer with different relationships. So it's no wonder why she's able to create heartfelt music that's based off of, you know, relationships, going through the struggle, you know, being broken down emotionally and financially. She could speak to the core of that, and she can do it in a way that most other people can't do it. So this right here, this was a great story to talk about because I want you guys to focus on Decision Day Wednesday, on once again who you are, what are your challenges, what is it that you want to achieve, how did the beginning of your week start out, how has it been for you so far, and go even farther than the beginning of your week. I want you to think about the beginning of your life growing up. Did you come from a place where everything was all good, or there were specific challenges, and you, as you were growing up, you start thinking to yourself, man, I don't want this to be my life. I don't want this to be the life that I live. And definitely if I have children, I don't want them to repeat the same cycle that I had to go through. I don't want them to live in, you know, poverty stricken neighborhoods. I want them to be able to grow and develop and live around, trees and stuff like that, be able to sit outside without the worry of, you know, people doing drive-bys or whatever. That was, you know, the beginning half of the week. That was what you had going on in the beginning parts of your life. And now you're looking forward to what you want the remainder of that life to look like. If not just for yourself, but once again, for whoever you're doing it for. If you have kids, you want to put yourself in the best position possible so that they never have to experience those type of situations. So hopefully this message has hit the right people. I wanted to, touch more than one person. Pause. But I wanted to reach the hearts, minds, and souls of the right group of people so that they can take action and that they can do what's necessary to create that new life. And I want you to pick up some good addictions. Addiction isn't bad if, applied to the right things. I think AI for me is a great addiction because it allows me to use my creativity, allows me to be able to present and, produce content for my target audience so that I can further live my dream. My dream of being able to provide value, my dream of being one of the best, you know, online marketers in the world from my personal perspective, not the riches. I want the money too, though. So don't get that twisted. I want the money, but the having the impact. I want to be one of the most impactful entrepreneurs online. I want you to say to yourself, and I want you to tell other people that, I paid this person thousands of dollars and that, to get me someplace to help me with something. But this dude right here, he gave me things that's more valuable than what I paid 2,000, 3,000, $4,000 for. He gave me more insight, more valuable, knowledge, skills than somebody else that I had to pay all this money for. He's the truth. Everything is, everything is relative. valuable things will only be seen as valuable to people that can identify valuable things. So with that, I'm not going to keep you guys too long today. I'm going to close out the same way that we always close out. I hope you guys have enjoyed this story and this has given you a light bulb moment. I didn't actually talk about the story that I wanted to talk about, but maybe, maybe I'll go live again later and we'll talk about that, or we'll save it for tomorrow. But on that note, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Let me cue up the music. And while I'm pulling up the music, right, I want to encourage you guys. I want to strongly encourage you guys to check out yesterday's live. If you haven't watched yesterday's live, it was very powerful because I gave a full training. If you want to learn how to earn $10,000 a month in your online business or in any type of business that you're trying to do, you need to watch yesterday's live because it was one of the most valuable lives that you will ever see. I don't care if you did pay that coach or that mentor $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. More than likely, they didn't give you the information that I gave you yesterday. They didn't break it down the way that I broke it down. And I hope that you appreciate it and you take that valuable information and you use it, you apply it, you take action on it, because that live will be removed soon. It was that powerful and valuable. That live will be removed and is going to be reserved solely for my Hustleverse VIPs. Those people that really want to take action and that really looking for the truth and how to build a profitable business, it was in yesterday's live. And the problem is, you can go back to value once again. I gave it all away for free. But most people, the mentality of people is that they don't respect it. People don't respect stuff that's free. They say they want something for free, but then they don't find the time to take advantage of it. But if you put a brick wall up in front of them, if you tell them, hey, this is exclusive and this is something that you can't get, well, kind of like living in a bad neighborhood, you put up a gate and the nice neighborhood is past the gate, what'll happen? The people in the bad neighborhood, they'll climb that gate, they'll damn near injure themselves to climb that gate, jump over that gate to see what's on the other side. But if you leave it, no gate, they might not even want to even wander over there. It might not be as important to them to get there because there's no barrier. But me personally, I understand the value in putting up barriers, but I also understand the value in giving value and having the right person identify that, hey, this is valuable. I'm going to respect it. I'm going to take action on it and I'm going to move forward and hopefully make the decision that they want to further connect with me and that I'm the right person to actually partner with when it comes to building a business. So with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed once again, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I was supposed to be scrolling and finding that song, right? But I stopped just to focus on you guys, right? But I found it. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See you in the next live.
Woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane. But I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's game. That got me dancing with denial at night. Scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day sounded small at first, but in silence even whispers can't quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, wrote my future in ink, mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. People laugh, said she doing too much. To my PayPal ping, then they changed up the touch. No big brand, no six-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew. Tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call, so I built my own stage, held my own hall. Suno on deck, that's the beat in my chest. GPT spitting like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted. But now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom and I claim my name now. Hustle berry on loop like healing chants, for the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, this a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a